Let me ask you a question. What happens when you balance your finances, career, and your well-being? There's no limit to what you can achieve. I'm Jalen Vickery, your host and guide on how to build wealth with wellness. Living in a world of information overload and misleading highlight reels, Finance Fitness Finesse is a podcast to help you realize you're not woke, you're broke, and how to change that in your favor. If you're looking to elevate your wealth, well-being, and discover the power of balance, tune in to learn why money matters but wellness counts. Hey Finessers! Welcome back to Finance Fitness and Finesse. I'm JaeVic, and today we're building wealth 5 reps at a time by breaking down the third letter of 5 reps dimensional wealth, vocational. Today, we're going to define what vocational wealth really means, why it matters, and some ways we can start strengthening your vocational foundation right now, even while battling burnout. Before we get started, your input means everything, guys. Your feedback is key to making this show better and more useful for everyone. So if you're vibing with the content or have ideas for what you want to hear next, leave a quick review at the top or bottom of the show page, and I would love to feature your comments. If you care about your friends and yourself, you will tell your friends about F3. All right, let's get into it. Ugh, not again. It's not even light out yet. Here we go, stepping into the same Groundhog Day of getting up to do something I'm not passionate about, all for the sake of maintaining some kind of financial stability. I'm just going to hit snooze repeatedly until I barely have time to get ready. My room's already a mess, and I might as well just keep throwing my clothes everywhere, trying to piece together somewhat of a presentable outfit. Oh, geez, why am I always sweating when I'm running out the door? Forget breakfast. I haven't had time for that in years. And here I go, starting yet another day running on fumes just to create profit for someone else while completely neglecting myself. This is the life. All this at the very start of a Groundhog Day that we never know if it's our last. If any part of that feels uncomfortably familiar, let me tell you, there's nothing wrong with you. What you need is a pause. Gather your energy, focus, and start the journey of reinvesting in yourself. Think about it, finessers. Most of us spend the first 18 to 22 years of our lives in school, then work from 22 to 65, or later since the retirement age keeps going up, only to enjoy the fruits of our labor for the last 10 to 15 years of life with a loose filter and loose sense of who we actually are. When we tie our entire identity to a job, a paycheck, or a degree we pursued to, quote-unquote, make a lot of money, it's no wonder we feel off balance when that job ends or doesn't fulfill us. We look around and realize the rest of our life, our relationships, our health, our creativity has been neglected, suppressed, and you're stressed. Sure, you maybe have abundance in your bank account, but what about the rest of your life? Finessers, I know you're listening to this show because you intend to live intentionally. Don't sleepwalk through your days. I know what that's like. I did it for years as a Division I athlete, tying my whole identity to being a student athlete just so I could pay for school, get a good job, and live happily ever f***ing after. Ever feel like you're losing years of your life because you're stuck in the same routine, afraid that stepping into the unknown won't pay off? I've been there. I can barely remember ages 15 to 20 because I was so lost in the sauce. But here's the thing. Our fears have something to tell us. If you're scared of working for 60 years just to enjoy the last 10, listen to that. If you're afraid to tell your family you're on a path that doesn't feel right, pay attention to what that fear says about your relationship with them, or your faith in yourself. 3 of the saddest sentences in the world are, it might have been, I should have, I wish I had. I get it. Life is expensive. It's really expensive. And for anyone outside of school or in a life transition, it feels impossible not to fall into the rat race to survive. Consumerism manipulates us into thinking we need more to be happy. More stuff, more money, more status, more followers, more likes, without first understanding what we really want. You're just hungry for validation, babe. So what do? You keep going to that soul-sucking job, collecting a paycheck, just to spend it on fleeting moments of fulfillment that barely mask the question haunting you. What am I doing with my life? And I'm not saying don't buy the things that bring you joy. I'm saying do the work to figure out why they bring you joy and what buried passions or talents you're suppressing that could lead to lasting fulfillment. That's where your lifestyle practice comes in. A lifestyle practice isn't just about a job. It's creating a way of living that brings balance, freedom, and purpose while meeting your wants and needs. A friend of mine recently started calling it wealthness. Pursuing your lifestyle practice means you're working towards your goals, not just running away from consequences. Yep, I'm talking to you, Miss or Mister. I'm just going to pretend the problem's not there. Here's a simple framework people throw around. Does your job pay well? Do you love it? Do you like the schedule? Apparently, if you have 2 out of the 3, maybe you're doing okay. But real and lasting vocational wealth happens when you're building a life that doesn't feel like you're sacrificing one part of yourself just to keep the money or expectation side satisfied. And let's talk about failure. Failure is only a bad teacher if you let it trick you into believing you made the wrong decision instead of seeing it as part of the learning process in pursuit of a goal. If you don't know what you're good at, you've got to try things. Fail at them. Figure out what you love, what you hate, and what you want to try again. I mean, I'm living this right now, guys. As a therapist that's also pursuing entrepreneurship, going into school, I was told, social workers, therapists, you don't make a lot of money, but you help a lot of people lead themselves to a better life. Yeah, well, the not making money part, because I have seen the abundance that not only can happen in my wallet, but also by working the principles that I mean to teach others into my life. I need to practice what I preach, and it's literally the ultimate life hack, working in a field where the entire concept is building a meaningful, fulfilling life. I pursued a career that would help me take my power back from limiting beliefs so I could show others how to do the same. Am I still lost sometimes? Of course. But if we're not a little lost, how will we ever find the new doors waiting to open for us? How will we see the doors that are already open for us because of a failure? Leaving my last job, starting a new one, starting my business, it's taught me everything about the complicated good. It's not always glamorous. Embracing the complicated good is choosing to see the way a challenge gives rather than it takes. It's me spending 90 minutes on call with QuickBooks customer service and saying to myself, I'm having so much fun learning patience and entrepreneurship. All right, vocational wellness. What is it really? Well, we spend 90,000 hours of our lives working. That's a third of your life, not counting the time you spend sleeping, which is also nearly a third. So with 2/3 of your life gone, it's probably in your favor to at least try to align your work with your passions, values, and strengths. Do you know what those are for you? Have you asked those questions? Your vocational wealth lies at the sweet spot where purpose meets productivity. And let's be real, too many of us are missing the mark on that. I hypothesize that we've been conditioned to chase secure or high-paying jobs because, let's face it, society practically hands us an American dream blueprint. Go to school, pick a respectable career, and work your way up until retirement. But what happens if that blueprint doesn't fit where you are or what is accessible to you? What happens when your talents and passions don't align with the safe option everyone tells us to pursue? I'm for the path towards creating a professional life that fuels you, not drains you. No, this doesn't mean you have to quit your job tomorrow and go find your dream career in the mountains or on a beach somewhere. I encourage taking intentional steps towards connecting your work with your authentic self. That probably begins with some self-exploration though, right? Your life is your empire. That empire might be built on creativity, leadership, problem solving, caregiving, teaching, whatever makes you feel like you. It's less about the salary, although let's not ignore financial realities, and more about doing work that lets you express your natural talents and keeps you feeling engaged. You know that feeling when you're in the zone, losing track of time, and actually enjoying what you're doing? Even if it's rare, think back to when you may have experienced that. That's what vocational wellness looks like. Reality. A lot of us suppress our talents and ignore what really excites us because we're afraid it won't pay the bills or impress other people. How many of you out there have a creative passion? Maybe you love writing, photography, baking, design, but you shoved it into a corner because it's not practical. Or maybe you're great with numbers, organizing events, coming up with solutions, giving advice that's well received, but you're convinced it's not valuable enough. We all experience imposter syndromes with what we're actually interested in while we're pushed in a direction of what is expected of us. Here's the domino effect of your current reality. When we're not aligned at work, it spills over into other parts of our lives. How many times have you felt burnt out at work and then snapped at someone you love? Or felt too exhausted to enjoy the things that do light you up? That's the price we pay when we settle for work that's just a paycheck and not a purpose. Balancing your natural talents with the desire to earn money isn't a choice of one over the other. We gotta find some rhythm between the two. So let's start with the real question. What do you actually need to feel secure? Not what society says you should want, but what gives you financial peace without draining your well-being. Once you figure that out, lean into your natural abilities, the things you love and are good at, even if they don't scream money maker right away. Wealth will come. Vocational wealth flips the script on success and leads you to find work that lights you up, fuels your creativity, and reflects your long-term values. That kind of work doesn't just pay the bills, it compounds over into every part of your life, making you more energized, grounded, and present. Sure, money matters, we are not ignoring that. But I'm speaking from experience that when your work aligns with who you are, you start building a life that feels rich, not just looks like it. And honestly, isn't that what we're all searching for? A life that feels as good as the inside as it might look on our social media channels? Alright, picture this. Your boss hasn't shown up in 2 weeks, but somehow manages to flood your inbox with demands for projects they barely even remember assigning. Then, when they finally show up, it's not to lead, it's to overshare their personal drama, throwing the entire team into chaos. Deadlines? Missed. Communication? Non-existent. Productivity? Dragged to the graveyard. You're left holding the business together with duct tape and caffeine while wondering how you got here. Any of that sound familiar? Humans are drama monsters, but workplace drama? Whew. That's a soul-sucking black hole where vocational wealth goes to die. Toxic workplaces are killing your productivity and draining your sense of purpose. Workplace toxicity is not just a bad day. It's a system designed to keep you handcuffed to complacency and disappointment. Oh, and by the way, if you're on a sinking ship with your supervisor lighting the fires in the bottom of the boat, it's time to jump ship. Your vocational wealth compounds in environments that energize and support you, not ones that rob you of your potential. Drama and dysfunction pull you further from your focus, which should be you. At the end of the day, no paycheck is worth trading your peace, your health, your time, or your dreams. Rewind and replay that. The 5-reps mentality is embracing that you can do at least 5 things for yourself weekly or monthly to compound your vocational wealth deposits. We're microdosing goals here, people. I microdose progress so often, y'all are gonna think I'm an addict. That gets me into the 5 things I recommend for your 5-reps mentality to build your dimensional wealth with your vocation. Numero uno. Audit your work-life alignment. Ask yourself, does this job reflect who I am, or am I simply working to survive? This self-discovery process helps you identify gaps where you are and where you want to be. Once you see any disconnect, You can start making small, intentional shifts. Rather than exploring other career options, taking on a meaningful side project or creating boundaries can protect your energy as you get your feet under you. Number 2, invest in your growth. Growth doesn't always mean a promotion. Sometimes it can be about expanding your skills or feeding your curiosity. Our brains are meant to think. They're meant to process things, discover new things, be challenged, take a course, read books, attend workshops, have a conversation with somebody new. Anything to get you excited and get your brain juices flowing. It's okay if it doesn't directly relate to your current job or your family. And here comes intellectual wealth. A direct connection in making you more adaptable in the workplace while also discovering new passions and talents you might want to pursue. Your career isn't just what's on your resume, it's what fuels your personal and professional evolution. I never thought I would have a podcast, much less that I could edit, produce, market, social, all that crap that's involved in it, or be a business owner, but I'm invested in the growth that new experiences can bring. Number 3, redefine success on your terms. Come on, finessers. Dare to be different. Think beyond the paycheck or the title. What could a successful life career look like for you? Is it the flexibility to spend time with family? Autonomy over your time and creative power? Or maybe it's doing work that just energizes you. When you define success for yourself, you can make better decisions about where to invest your greatest assets, time and energy. Number 4, prioritize workplace health and boundaries. This was a hard one for me for a while, guys. Vocational wealth is impossible if your work environment constantly burns you out. Pay attention to how your workplace impacts your mental, physical health, etc. Are you overworked? Do you feel valued? If the answers don't sit well with you, it's time to set some boundaries. No is a complete sentence. Protect your peace. Talking to myself here. Mambo number 5. Use your talents to fuel other dimensions. Your work doesn't have to be in its own little bubble. It can actually fuel so many other parts of your life. Like, if you love teaching, why not mentor someone? It's a great way to grow in your career and strengthen your social connections at the same time. Or maybe your creative side isn't getting enough love at your 9 to 5 or afterwards because you're exhausted. Start a side hustle, hobby, volunteer, dive into projects that bring you joy. Start something new in your home life. Bring other people in with you. That's a big way to get something going, is with community. When you intentionally bring your talents into other areas of your life, you're not just building your career. You're building your empire of creating balance and stacking up on your investments in holistic wealth. As we close the episode out, questions to ask yourself. This is also in the show notes. Does my current job reflect who I am? Or am I just working to survive? What excites me? And how can I bring more of that into my life? What does success look like to me, not what society or my environment says it should be? Am I protecting my peace and setting boundaries at work? How can I use my talents and hidden capabilities to fuel other parts of my life? Vocational wealthness is about reframing how you think about work. Key takeaway here, finessers: vocational wealthness is about reframing how you think about work. See your job not just as a way to survive, but a way to thrive. Now, we're not just glamorizing our passion projects and throwing responsibility to the wind and saying you have to have a dream job to be vocationally wealthy. It's about taking responsibility to get to know yourself so you can really assess if you are where you want to be in your life. You are the greatest project of a lifetime. It doesn't matter what age you are. Bottom line, finessers, vocational wellness, like all the other dimensions, is deeply personal. It's not just a paycheck. Humans have always had to work to live. If your job doesn't check all the boxes right now, that's okay. Nothing is about perfection. It's about progress. Small shifts like learning new skills, networking, and self-exploration, I cannot say it enough, are going to help you get closer to that work-life balance that pays dividends into you. Consistency compounds. F3 is a podcast for lifelong learners pursuing freedom. And you guys know that we take back our freedom by pouring into our dimensional wealth. Dimensional wealth, especially relating to your vocation, your job, your career, goes beyond the achievements, expectations, and labels society places on us to be worthy enough. If you're ready to build your blueprint of your abundant lifestyle, contact me in the show notes and we can execute on your dimensional wealth plan. That's all for today's episode on vocational wealth. I'm here with y'all finessing every day, and I hope I can serve as a reminder that small steps can lead to big changes with the momentum mindset. If you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you did, help me learn with you and be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Stay tuned for more episodes where we continue to build your wealth with wellness 5 reps at a time. I'm JaeVic, and please don't act woke and be broke. Until next time, stay savvy, and if you don't know, now you know. Disclaimer, this podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial or mental health advice. Always seek professional guidance tailored to your personal needs.